Yo, what's good, guys? Today I'm gonna give you a breakdown of this Rascal bait deck that I've been running. This is pretty much gonna be my main deck for this season, so I wanted to show you guys some gameplay of me playing it and give you a little explanation of how it's done. Now, I do want to let you know that this is a very niche logbait deck. Rascal bait's been around for a long time, but there's only 12 people playing it in UC right now. Now, early game, you want to be like very cautious of your elixir and your opponent's elixir. In this case, I have damage already, and he used Bandit, which is a great counter to Prince. So I go Prince at the bridge, because I know he's not going to have the best counter, and he doesn't. So he uses that to kite and throws down an E-Wizard. But notice, that's 8 elixir that he just spent. And because he's playing bridge spam, the nature of his deck is going to be to build these giant, massive pushes. So if I keep the pressure on, right, and keep him like spending elixir, he's gonna have a much harder time building a big push. That's why we do things like Goblin Gang on the E-Wizard, so that he has to play Dark Prince. You know, things like that make a big difference. Now he's back to spells, right? So in this case, we're just saving elixir now. I'm gonna just get back to 10. Boom. Wall breakers in the middle. Same idea, bro. We're just creating that pressure so he doesn't build a big push on me. And he sacrifices one of his lanes and plays a pretty bad Ice Wizard. In these matchups, again, bro, we're not really doing much except till double elixir. I'm just creating that pressure. I'm not looking to build up some giant push with Prince and Rascals. That's why you just see me kind of cycling, defending, and then throwing Goblin Barrel or throwing Wall Breakers. And honestly, that's the way you're going to play against a lot of matchups. But watch, we're getting close to double elixir. The fact that I'm in the lead right now is great. Even if I wasn't, I wouldn't be that upset, right? Because once we hit double elixir, things start to tip in my favor big time. And you'll kind of see that because now that I have my Evos in cycle, right? We get a cheap defense on that Dark Prince. We save Princess in this scenario, right? And now we're ready, bro, because we're about to hit double elixir. That's why we got a VM, you know? But look, we got Evo Goblin Barrel ready. He's cooked. And I want to make the big push, don't get me wrong, but we're waiting for him to spend elixir. Once he spends, that's when we go big push. Boom, P.E.K.K.A in the back, perfect opportunity. We go right in. Evo Goblin Barrel with Prince. Again, he wastes another Evo, which is great, right? He has to force out a kite because he spent so much elixir putting that P.E.K.K.A in the back. This is how you beat bridge spam. You just force them to never get a good P.E.K.K.A. Now, in this case, right, he's trying to take out that Dark Goblin real quick, but you guys will see Rascals is so good on defense. So with this type of play, we're able to defend everything all at once. Let's rewind that and give you guys a solid breakdown. Now, Dark Goblin was already locked onto P.E.K.K.A, and he plays Dark Prince to take care of my Dark Goblin. At the same time, we play Princess to take care of Ice Wizard. We also log on top of Dark Prince to take out Shield and P.E.K.K.A so that Dark Goblin does extra damage. This is where it all comes together, literally. We play Rascals in the middle and kite everything all together. This usually forces out a poison or whatever spell he has, right? Now that his poison's out of the way, we can safely use our Goblin Gang to kite the P.E.K.K.A and, you know, carry out the rest of our defense. There's always a little reset after a crazy interaction like that. Now, when we're both at 10 here, I actually get a little lucky because he spent P.E.K.K.A. Since we did Wall Breakers opposite lane, I immediately Goblin Barrel. This was really good split lane pressure, right? So now he's got a wasted E-Wizard and a P.E.K.K.A that's about to walk alone. Since I did Prince in the right lane, he can't even support the P.E.K.K.A. And that's why we're emoting, because we know what just happened. Now we can kite P.E.K.K.A with Goblin Gang and Goblin Barrel, cards like this, and really I'm focusing on just keeping his elixir small, never letting him build another P.E.K.K.A push for the rest of the game. And you guys will see, this will just continue to snowball into this effect where I just completely destroy him. Right now he went P.E.K.K.A on the right and Dark Prince, right? He's trying to scramble for that big push, but this isn't scary anymore, right? We just Rascals right here, and you guys will see we're able to defend pretty well. I did a bad Evo Wall Breakers, but I don't care about the damage that I take, right? It's okay if we take damage. We're in a position where there's not a lot of time left. If you go for damage, I'm gonna ignore it and just take your tower. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this Rascal bait explanation. Please subscribe, pretty please.